Hello, Professor. So, I just got done. I was trying to do the Powtoon. I was unable to. I tried logging into the other ones. And to be honest, I cannot figure them out. So, I'm just going to do a YouTube video posted on YouTube, and hopefully that will work for you. So, two similarities and two differences between traditional and online learning models. First off, let's start off with the similarities. There are a couple huge similarities. I have my notes to the side, so I'll be looking over to them. I do apologize for that. I am not one to take video. That's why I would rather do a paper like I suggested, but you had said no. So back to this. I'd say constructivism is definitely one of them for traditional and for online. It's going to be very similar. You have to you create your own meaning and understanding through the resources and circumstances given. Another learning thing that's the same is behaviorism. What I mean by that is exactly what it sounds like. It's learned through the environment. So not only are you going to have that with people, you're going to have them in traditional setting. You're going to have them learn from each other. You're also going to have online. They're going to pull in their perspectives. As far as online learning, cognitivism is definitely going to be one of the big ones as far as the differences. So not all learners have the same level of learning. You're going to see that in both traditional and online. However, I think you're going to find the skew more online because a lot of adult learners, especially, are going to have issues when it comes to doing certain things online, such as I just had with the free software to create the video. I was having a lot of issues. I know how to do YouTube, so I figured YouTube would be the easier one. Another difference between online learning is just the ability of having the self-motivation. Yes, you have that more in class, but it's a little bit easier because in class you have other people pushing you, while online you're completely on your own. Um, I think the advantages when it comes to different models for the traditional, I'd say the advantage is in person. You're going to have people talk and discuss with you a little bit more often. You're going to have more relationship building within the classroom than without the classroom. Yes, in the online learning environment like we have people discuss back and forth, but it's different in person versus online. Another advantage is you have a set time frame. You have time set aside for it. Disadvantage would be exactly that. You don't have time set aside. You have to be very, very on the point when it comes to online learning. You have to set time aside. As you can see, I am actually in my classroom. So, well, online learning, it does give you that as a disadvantage. You don't know when you're going to have the time to do something. You have to kind of set time aside, which is hard to do. Um, Adult learning models that apply to each of these. I'd say the Dewey Social Experiment definitely applies to both, as well as the Knowles. Um, I'd say Knowles a little bit more because it goes into all of the different things that you need for both online and in person. The self-direction, the experience piece, the mental orientation, the motivation, the readiness to learn. It goes over every single one of those aspects that can honestly be their own. So with that, it's going to completely break down and tell you how each of these will apply to them. So if you don't have the self-direction within a traditional class, you're going to ask to leave the classroom. You're going to get bad grades. With online, if you don't have the self-motivation, you're just not going to turn in the assignment. You're going to forget all about it, turn stuff in late, and you're going to get a bad grade that way. As well as the experience piece, it's going to be the same thing. If you're not sharing your experiences, you're going to do poorly on those. When it comes to presenting these, there are a few different ways that you can present it. One of the best way that I like to present something is through the experience piece within when I'm teaching history. I love someone to pull their background and tell me how it adjusts and how it incorporates into what we were talking about. Like today, I had a SEL, so social and emotional learning, and we weren't pulling anything from outside knowledge. We were just talking about what we had to do. So we were pulling from our own experiences and how it interacts and how it incorporates what we were learning about. And then another one that applies to both. Once again, I'm gonna go back into Knowles. I mean, he does very well with explaining his theory. You have to have the self-direction and self-motivation, and that's a huge part of his theory. And the way that both models produce a similar learner is exactly through that. If you have someone who is not motivated, doesn't want to learn, in either of those, they're going to get bad grades. Vice versa, if you have someone who is very motivated and wants to learn, they're going to do very well. So those are great examples of how to include instruction into that. You want to make sure that it's relevant to them. Relevance is like another huge part. If it's not relevant to them, they're not going to understand it as much, and then they're not going to care as much. So those are the ways that you can give to, a couple of different examples of how it works. I hope that this works well enough. I know it's a little bit over the 5 minutes, so the first 20, 30 seconds wasn't really talking about it. So hopefully this is well enough. I will also include 2 to 3 scholarly resources as well, and I appreciate it.